Hello students, I am Mrs. Aradhana Amre, teacher in mathematics from Ferguson College. In today's last session of the mathematical logic topic, we will be solving the problems on negations of compound statements as well as problems based on algebra of statements, for which we move over to the PowerPoint presentation. Let's continue with exercise 1.4, question 1, sixth problem. In the last session, we had finished the previous examples and we have to write the negation. Negation of the curly bracket, inside which we have negation of round bracket P and Q or round bracket P or negation Q. So I apply now the rule of negation of disjunction, because when you apply the rule for the compound statement, please note, consider this entirely as the statement A or the second bracket as statement P. Okay. So it will be negation of the round bracket, negation of P in Q, and negation of P or negation Q, where I am using the negation of disjunction rule. Now I simplify the brackets here. Inside the first bracket, now I apply the negation of conjunction rule, which will be negation of P or negation of Q, and negation for this second bracket will be negation P and negation of negation Q. Even if one rule is mentioned here, no, again the brackets, the first square bracket simplification will be negation of negation P and negation of negation Q, where I am applying the negation of the disjunction for the first bracket, and inside the second bracket, negation of negation Q is Q. Further, again negation of negation P will be P and negation of negation Q will be Q. Using the rule of negation, we have the negation of the given statement pattern as simplified form P and Q and negation P and Q. While simplifying the negation part, please be careful. Do not hurriedly write the statements. Go slowly one by one and finish the sum. Negation of the entire square bracket, in which you can see there are two round brackets A, then implies B, where B is this round bracket. So applying the negation of implication, it will be the first bracket and negation of the second bracket. Okay. Now first bracket will be as it is. I now apply the negation of conjunction for the second bracket, which will be negation P or negation of negation Q. The remaining part in the statement will be as it is. And lastly, I use the negation of negation Q as Q, where negation of negation rule is used. So you can see the negation of the given statement pattern is P or negation Q and negation P or. I'll go back for your understanding once again. And now I move over to the next part. Homework. Remaining sub-questions can be solved using the rules of negation from exercise 1.4 for question 1. And also miscellaneous exercise 1, question 11. Now is the most important part, converse, inverse and contrapositive of implication. If the given statement is P implies Q, its converse is Q implies P, its inverse is negation P implies negation Q, and contrapositive is negation Q implies negation P. A 1 mark question or 2 marks question or 3 marks question will may come in the board exam. So while how to write the converse, inverse, contrapositive of the implication, let us see by taking an example. I have the entire example in front of you. Exercise 1.3. Question 4. The question is very, very specific in wording. Write converse, inverse and contrapositive of the following statements. I have taken the fourth statement. If x is less than 1, then x square is less than y square, where x and y are real numbers. Write first your p and q. P is x less than 1, q is x square less than y square. Symbolic form is p implies q. Negation of p will be obviously x greater than or equal to y. Negation of q will be x square greater than or equal to y square. Converse is q implies p. So pick up q and p. Q implies p. Converse will be f x square less than y square, comma, then x less than y. Inverse, negation p implies negation q. Pick up negation q very properly, correctly. If x greater than or equal to y, comma, then x square greater than or equal to y square. Alternative will be, answer will be, if x is not less than y, then x square not less than y square. Contrapositive, negation q implies negation p, which is if x square greater than or equal to y square, comma, then x less greater than or equal to y, or alternatively, if x square not less than y square, comma, then x not less than y. Note here, the given implication P implies Q statement was all having the mathematical symbols. What if we have a verbal form of implication and how to write its converse, inverse, contrapositive? Let's see on the next slide. But this is how you will answer the question for 3 marks in the board exam. A family becomes literate if the woman in it is literate. Rewrite the sentence to make it P implies Q format. It will be if the woman in family is literate, comma, then a family becomes literate. So statement P will be the woman in the family is literate. Q will be a family becomes literate. Negation symbolic form is P implies Q. Negation P will be the woman in the family is not literate. Negation Q will be a family does not become literate. Negation will be now does not become literate. Please note. Converse is Q implies P. Pick up the correct options, statements from what we have written. So converse will be if a family becomes literate, then the woman in the family is literate. Inverse, negation P implies negation Q. The woman in the family is not literate, comma, then the family does not become literate. And contrapositive is negation Q implies negation P, which is if a family does not become literate, comma, then the woman in the family is not literate. So I have taken one example P implies Q in the symbolic form and another one in the verbal form, but format of writing the answer to this type of a question is very specific. This year the same converse, inverse, contrapositive was asked in the exam, so please note it down. From the point of view of exam, this part of the topic is very important and very interesting also. I've now have the homework for you from exercise 1.3. I have solved the 2. You have to solve remaining 2 from question 4. We have also seen this equivalence previously, that P implies Q equivalent to negation P or Q. There is one question in exercise 1.4 which I'll quickly finish it for you. In question 2, we have to rewrite the following statement without using if then. If a man is a judge, then he is honest. So if then phrase is implication. So write individual statements P and Q. P is a man is judge. Q, the man is honest. Implication is P implies Q. Use its equivalent form, negation P or Q. So negation P will be now a man is not a judge, negation P, or he is honest. See how I have converted implication statement in the disjunction statement. So this is question is very self-explanatory. Even if you just copy it in your notebook while studying, it can understand what we have learned today. If f of 2 equal to 0, then f of x is divisible by x minus 2. P is f of 2 equal to 0. Statement Q is f of x is divisible by x minus 2. Given statement is in the form P implies Q, but we use its equivalence negation P or Q. So f of 2 equal to 0 negation is f of 2 not equal to 0. So the given statement without using the if then word can be written as f of 2 not equal to 0 or f of x is divisible by x minus 2. Remaining you can do as a homework. Equivalence of algebra of statements. This is an important part. I have all the laws in front of you. Go one by one through 8 so that we can solve the examples based on them. Okay, this is P implies negation Q or P. If it's not visible for you, it's this way. Commutative law, conjunction, disjunction statements can be interchanged. Associative law is if the same symbol is used, you can move the brackets anywhere the way you want it. Distributive law is conjunction is distributive over disjunction. P and Q or R is P and Q or P and R. P or Q and R is P or Q and P or R. Then De Morgan's law, these two we have already seen in the laws of negation, which we will need not write. This is very important. P and T is P. P and F is F. P or T is T. P and F is P. Note, T is the largest statement. F is the smallest statement. And when you are using the smaller statement becomes the answer. In or the larger statements becomes the answer. Complement law, P and negation P is F. P or negation P is T. Conditional law, we have seen the examples also on this. And by conditional law, equivalence, P implies Q and Q implies P. Okay, you need not prove this result. You have to just use them in the examples. So let's take few of the examples based on these laws. Without using now truth table, you have to prove the logical equivalence. In the earlier session, I told you that we have to prove the equivalence without using the truth table. How to do it? Let's see. I take the LHS statement. Now you can see using the distributive law. P or is common. So I use the distributive law. P or Q and negation Q. Q and negation Q by the complement law is F and P or F is P, identity law. My suggestion is before you solve these types of examples, please learn the laws and take the hint. Or if is there the smaller statement between P and F, F is the smaller, so larger statement comes as an answer. For this you need a little bit of practice. So solve as many problems from the solved examples from the textbooks for all types of subtopics that we have learned so far. That is RHS, and hence you can conclude. Writing all the steps is mandatory. Start with LHS, finish with RHS, and hence the conclusion. Prove that left hand side statement pattern is equal to right hand side. I start with LHS. Now you can see it is the negation of the bracket, that is implication. So using the negation of implication, it will be first bracket and negation of the second bracket. Inside the second bracket negation, I use the negation of conjunction. Negation of P and Q is negation P or negation of negation Q. And further negation of negation Q is just Q. I think that gives us our RHS and hence the equivalence. Okay, you can see that. Next. Without using the truth tables, there is a homework. I have solved 2 examples. You can solve remaining 2. Very few examples and specific number of examples are there in the textbook. So if I have done the 50%, you should be able to solve 50% of problems on your own. Using the rules of logic, prove the following. Now, what we have seen earlier is we had to prove the equivalence using the rules of logic. Now, I have to combine the rules of all the algebra of statements as well as the rules of the negations. So, I have to prove the first equivalence. I can see the right hand side is little bit lengthy and it looks complicated, but let's simplify it and come back to the RHS. So, in the solution, I write RHS expression, and what do I see? I use the law of negation of conjunction for the first bracket and law of negation of conjunction for the second bracket. Now negation of the first bracket will be negation P or negation of negation Q. Negation of Q and negation P will be negation Q or negation of negation P. Negation of negation Q is Q. Negation of negation is P by negation of negation law. Negation P or Q, now you have to remember it is the implication law. And negation Q or P is Q implies P. See how the two different brackets have got converted into P implies Q and Q implies P. And we all know from the algebra of statements, it is equal to P if and only if Q. Remember students, writing this part requires real remembering of the algebra of statements. And that is why I went through the list, but you have to by heart them, you have to remember them. Keep writing the algebra of statements and laws of negation, which will help you to simplify this kind of questions easily and quickly in the exam. Hence the conclusion, the equivalence is proved. Make it a point that you write the conclusion in the end in the logic. Out of 3 I have solved 2, so only 1 is there to prove for you. I would suggest start with the RHS and come back to the LHS to prove this law. We have another question from exercise 1.4, question 3, second problem. Using rules of logic, prove the following. Now I take the LHS. What do you see? You have to look at the statement and you can see that for the first bracket I can use the law of negation of disjunction, which will be negation P and negation Q. Then what I see is negation P and is common between the two brackets. So the distributive law will be in the reverse order, negation P and negation Q or Q. Negation Q or Q by the complement law is T, and any statement and T is the statement itself by the identity law. So that is how you get the RHS, and hence the logical equivalence is proved. Okay, so I have taken one problem from here. Let's take one more if we can. Same question, same exercise. Negation of P and Q equivalent to P or Q, and negation P is to be proved. So I start with RHS. What do? I have a bracket and negation P. So I have to open the bracket. To open the bracket, what do? I use the distributive law. So what will be distributive law? P and negation P or Q and negation P. Okay, I am expanding the bracket. See, the meaning of this in simple algebra is like x plus y plus into y plus z. How do we open it? It is xy plus xz. Okay, so distributive law is used in the logic also in the same way. And in the previous slide, what I had was ax plus bx. So what I did was I took x common. So distributive law can be used in both as an expansion or taking the common term outside. So here I am expanding the distributive law. P and negation P is F. Q and negation P will remain as it is. P and negation P by complement law comes out to be F. And F or Q and negation P. F or by any identity law, F or P is the statement P itself. I've just used the commutative law, whereas you can exchange the terms between this. It is like writing either A or B or BA. Commutative law is nothing but in logic is this. Then, hence, negation of P and Q equivalent to P or Q and negation P is proved. Okay, what I will do is I'll go back to the algebra of statements quickly so that I'll give you the hint to remember each one of them. Commutative law, P and Q is Q and P. For example, whether it is AB or BA is same. Similarly, if I have to use here A plus B equal to B plus A. We've seen if the same symbol is used between or among the three or more statements, you can shift your bracket from two terms to remaining two terms or just remove the bracket. That is the associative law. It's same as x, whether it is x into y z or it is xy into z or it is simply xyz. Remember this way from algebra. This will be easy for you. Distributive law, P and Q are R. I'm opening the bracket, P and Q or P and R. This is what? This is the distributive law of conjunction over disjunction. P or Q and R is P or Q and P or R. Please note. So this is one of the important law that you have to use in the exam. Negation law we have already seen. Identity law is very important. I would like you to repeat it. And whereas generally T is the highest statement considered or the largest number, kind of a largest number. I'm using the very layman language to make you to understand. F is the smallest statement. Now between P and T, T is the largest. So for and conjunction, smaller statement comes the answer. Between P and F, now here in between somewhere will be your P and negation P. So obviously between P and F, F is the smaller statement. So conjunction writing will be smaller statement as an answer. For disjunction, the larger statement will be the answer. Between P or T, T is the larger. And between P or F, P is the larger. So for identity law, please note, for conjunction, the greater or the larger statement is the answer. Smaller statement is the answer. Very sorry. And for disjunction, the larger statement is the answer. Complement law is very simple. It's like the complement law in your set theory. We all know A intersection A complement is, we all know phi. Phi in set theory and F in logic is one and the same. A complement and negation P is one and the same. Whereas universal set X and T in logic have the same meaning. And is for the intersection, I'll write it here, and is nothing but intersection in the set theory or is nothing but union in the set theory. So here P and negation P will be F. P or negation P is T. Why? Because we all know if I apply the set theory here, A union A complement is, we all know, is the universal set X. Please note it down. P implies Q equivalent to negation P or Q is proved and can be proved using the truth table. Also, P if and only if Q equivalent to P implies Q and Q implies P, which is also equivalent to negation P or Q, because equivalent of P implies Q is negation P or Q. Q implies P is equivalent to negation Q or P. So biconditional law states that P if and only if Q equivalent to P implies Q and Q implies P. Student, after explaining the algebra of statements once again, let's take one more example. Prove that P if and only if Q is P and Q or negation P and negation Q. This is question 3, first sub question from exercise 1.4. I take the LHS. If and only if Q, I can use the biconditional law as P implies Q and Q implies P. Again, using the implication law, the first bracket P implies Q will become negation P or Q, and second bracket will become Q implies P as negation Q or P. Then I can further take the distributive law as taking negation P. That means what I am doing in simple words, I am using X plus Y into A plus B type of distributive law. So it will be negation P and negation Q or P, or Q and negation Q or P. Inside the first square bracket, it will be using again the distributive law. I take negation P and Q or negation P and P. I do the same thing here in the second bracket, Q and negation Q and or Q and P. Okay. I'll remove the notations here. Now, negation P and negation Q I have kept as it is, but what do you see is it is like negation P and negation Q or negation P and P. Negation P and P gives me F. Okay, and Q and negation Q also gives me F by complement law. Then anything or F is using the identity law, the bracket negation P and negation Q. Here also F or the bracket is the bracket, because or I have told you larger statement is the answer. So that rule I have used here in short as the identity law. And then it will be just rearranging the terms using the commutative law. Q and P is P and Q, or negation P and negation Q, which is your RHS. Okay. So that is how you will conclude the answer. Now quickly go through the next example. All the steps are in front of you. Let's go quickly. I do use between the two the distributive law. Here the second bracket I keep as it is. P or negation P gives me T. T and Q gives me Q as the identity law. Then I again use the distributive law over here. For here, these two brackets, Q or P and negation Q is Q or P and Q or negation Q. Q or negation Q is T. T and the bracket is Q or P. And using the commutative law, it is P or Q, which is RHS. I'm keeping the slide for you in front of you. You can go through it, understand it, so that it will help you to solve the remaining problems. Students, today we have finished the first topic, mathematical logic, from Maths paper 1. My strong recommendation to you is concentrate on the solved examples as well as the individual exercise and miscellaneous exercise to practice the various problems on each type given in the topic. That will ensure that you will get full marks for this topic in the board examination. With this, I wish you all the best for your board exam. Thank you.